Hey, future millionaires, today we're talking emergency fund. Remember in class we used the example of Hurricane Katrina as an emergency fund. An emergency fund is an amount of money that is set completely separate from everything else that is only used in an emergency. Tacos is not an emergency. We used Hurricane Katrina in class and how this was a great example. And I know only 2 or 3 of you were alive during Hurricane Katrina, but it's still a great example. Hurricane Katrina was devastating to a lot of people, and many people had to leave their homes. And this was a stressful situation for everybody involved. It didn't matter if you had an emergency fund or not. But if you did not have an emergency fund, this made a stressful situation 100 times worse. People that had to leave their homes and leave everything behind and had no money and no emergency fund. They didn't know how they were getting gas to get out of the town. They didn't know how they were going to pay for a hotel room once they got out of the area and into safety. And these are things that were a little easier for people that had an emergency fund. They did have the money to be able to get gas. They did have the money to be able to rent a hotel room or to get wherever they needed to go. It was a little easier because they had the funds to do so, even though it was stressful for everybody. Now, an emergency fund, the amount is determined by how. Okay, hold on. Typically, you want to have an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of your expenses. This covers your light bills, your water bill, your food, your rent, your car payment, your car insurance, these types of things. You want to have 3 to 6 months worth of your bills and expenses in this savings account. This is in case you lose your job unexpectedly. You have the money that's sitting there to cover your expenses while you find a new job. Now, what determines if it should be 3 months or 6 months? That depends on your job. If you have a job that you can turn around and get another one pretty quick, then you only need 3 months. Now, if you have a job like, say, you're a brain surgeon or a rocket scientist, and it's going to take you a little longer to get a job because there's not a whole lot of job openings for brain surgeons that are available, and you got to go through a lengthy interview process, you're going to want to have 6 months because it's going to take you a little longer before you get through everything and actually start working and get a paycheck. So, okay, emergency funds separate from all your other accounts. 3 to 6 months of all your monthly expenses to be able to cover in an emergency. Tacos are not an emergency. Having a car accident or having to leave for a hurricane, those are emergency. Losing your job, that's an emergency. Your water heater breaks down unexpectedly, your air conditioning, because it's 100 degrees outside today. That's why I'm inside today. I'm not going out there. The heat index is 110. I'm staying inside. If my air conditioner breaks down, do I have the money to call somebody that's going to come and fix it? Because they're going to charge me more today because it's 100 degrees outside and they are really busy. This account also needs to be easy access. If you have an online account that it takes days to transfer this money, that's probably not a good idea. You need to be able to get to this money quick, but not so quick that you can spend it just because you see a jacket that you really like at the mall. So there you go. Emergency funds. Make sure you have one.